The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, UNU Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
No! I'm going down to Alphabet Street. I'm gonna crown this girl that I meet. I'm gonna talk so.
Oh my God, everybody, it is time for the F word. This is Kathy. Do you remember me? I don't even remember me. It feels like it's been so long since I've been on. We'll repeat. I've had so many things happen. Picking people up, not being around, having to go to the Mayo Clinic. It's been just a whirlwind. Minnesota in the fall. Today has been rainy and cold, and I mean, I'm wearing my flip-flops out there and going, wait, what? It was like in the 70s a couple days ago. It's so off and on. You just don't know until it snows, and then it's hell, and it'll be a really long time before we warm up again. But I wanted to bring a really good friend of mine on that I've known for a while now, and he's got a great story. Really take a listen and think about yourself and think about if you had this going on in your life, what would you do? If you knew somebody that had this going on, what would you do? But Ben Williams, welcome to the F word.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Glad to join.
Thank you so much. So, Ben, NFL, how many years did you play football?
7 years in the NFL. Actually spent 2 unlucky years in the Canadian Football League. So, total 9. Which my body had the last league, a 10th year.
Wow. So, unlucky years. We'll get to the CFL. But obviously, you know, the F word, a lot of times I talk to some of my football player friends, and people have really great stories that got you to where you wanted to be. But let's tell everybody. Let's go to the beginning, and you know, part of the F word is family. So Tell me about your family. Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Central Mississippi, an area called the Delta of Mississippi. The actual town I'm from is called Belzona. Both my mother and father are from there, and deep South football country.
Yes. Deep South. So, good cooking down there. Good food.
Lots of authentic Cajun food if you like spice.
You know what? I've never had Cajun food.
Only way to go.
So, I need somebody to take me to go have Cajun food. I know some guys in St. Paul.
It's called an automatic gain 30-pound pill if you start Cajun food every week. Oh,
I wouldn't. No. I mean, like, you know what? You get to take me because I've never had it, so I wouldn't know what I'm having. All I know is I don't want to suck on crayfish heads. That makes me just scared.
That's rule number 1 of Cajun country. How can you not eat Cajun or Creole food and not eat crayfish?
Well, I would eat it like lobster, but why do I have to suck their brains out?
Because that's what the flavor is.
Oh, okay. Well, I might need to be blindfolded so I don't see it. I don't want something looking back at me. But okay, so you're down in Mississippi. Great food. That's another F word that I always think about. So tell me more.
Grew up. My mother was an educator. Taught in the school system there. Did some university education for a while. My father, military. Transitioned over to cotton and soybean farming in the region we're from. Started life, my first love was baseball, did that all the way through college, and got a bug for football by the time I was 8th, 9th grade. The rest of this is history.
So obviously you ended up being one of the less than 1% of kids that puts on a peewee football uniform to make it to the NFL. So, are you an only child?
I have one sister. My sister is 3 years older than me. She lives in Bridgeport, Connecticut. She went to school out there, studied psychology, and decided to stay on the East Coast.
I love Connecticut. My oldest son used to live there in New Haven. Best pizza ever.
Yeah, so drop, but
So, okay. So, you're a kid. Were you in youth sports? I mean, what got you going?
well, I think my first introduction to sports was park and rec sports like Pop Warner and Little League baseball and that kind of stuff. And I think probably the year I really got serious about football, probably my 8th or 9th grade year, I had an opportunity. Obviously, growing up in Mississippi, it's SEC football country, and at that age, you're all about emulating what you see. And I got an opportunity to attend a few SEC games, and I figured out at that age, that's what I wanted to do. So, my passion for football, like duck, and I think baseball was just a pastime.
Well, that is America's favorite pastime. So there you go, right? Okay, so my kids played football too, but I mean, they didn't go on. So they're little. I mean, my oldest was a double striper, which drove me crazy when they put that on his helmet, saying he couldn't carry the ball. But there's got to be something different when you work so hard at it. What did you do? I mean, the drive, the determination. I mean, I know what your nickname is. Were you already like getting bulked up and everything back then?
I think if you were probably take a survey of any professional athlete, I think one of the common denominators they have, one of the things they have in common is drive and work ethic. I was telling the story this other day. I remember my first. I look at some of these high school days and some of the weight programs and training programs and stuff they have. I was telling somebody the story the other day. I actually remember my mom ordered me a concrete set of weights from Sears Roebuck, and I would sit out on the front porch and lift weights in the dark with mosquitoes biting me in the summertime. So obviously there's some personal drive and work ethic things that probably drive you to your success in the sport.
Right, because I mean, you can you can be naturally talented at it and have a gift for it, but if you don't have the drive, you're not going to go anywhere. I mean, you see tons of kids playing football. They're like, wow, they're really good, but yeah, they don't have that fire under them, which
I totally agree with you. I mean, I think I do some work here and there. I can't say work, but I lend my advice sometimes to youth sports around here in the cities, and I have parents ask me about their kids participate in sports. Sometimes the parents are more motivated, have more drive than children do. So if you truly you have to love the game, and I mean when I say love it, I mean actually love it. I mean
right.
The practice, the cold, the heat, the grind of it. You have to really embrace day-to-day grind of it, or else I can't say that the game is for you if you can't really embrace. Everybody wants to shine on game day, but I'm sure for the day-to-day workout.
Right. So, I mean, when you think about it, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life if you look at it that way, because you're doing what you love. You don't even look at it as work. You're putting the work in, but you don't think of it as like drudgery. It's like, nope, I love this. This is what I'm doing. And you go and you do it, and that's that drive and that determination. And I've seen it raising 3 boys like I did. I saw it was like parents pushing their kids to do something that they weren't passionate about. Like, yeah, I'm going to go out in the yard and throw the football. Yep, I want to be the quarterback. I mean, every kid wants to be the quarterback. They don't get it, then all of a sudden they're not as interested. Or they do get it, and they realize that a lot of it falls on them, and they don't like that either. So that's, okay, where did you go to college?
University of Minnesota.
There we go. How did you, so my son graduated from the University of Minnesota, by the way. He'll be 30 next month.
And I want to, before you go on, that we're undefeated right now, so take care.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I want to mention that we're undefeated right now, so take that.
Well, I was gonna let you mention that. Said we are undefeated. You know, I've only been to one Gopher game. With all of the Gophers that I know, that's crazy. Because look at it. We know Carl Eller. How many Minnesota Gophers made it to the NFL?
I haven't actually counted. We have a wall in our pyramid facility that highlights every pro player we had in the program. So it's quite a number.
Well, yeah, I mean, Bud Grant,
Right.
Bobby Bell. I'm just thinking. Did Alan Page go there?
I don't think so.
Okay. Carl Eller. Okay. Carl Eller, Tyrone Carter, Daryl Thompson, Thomas Tapay. There's got to be, oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a lot more.
We have a good lineage of players. Carl Mecklenburg, somebody who people don't know who was a two-sport athlete at the University of Minnesota State Woodfield.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So, what do you think is making the team be undefeated this year? What's the difference? Have you noticed?
I think there are a lot of factors that go into how a season goes. I think one of the big factors is underrated is, the schedule when you play teams. I think we've had some fairly good look at some of the teams that we've played so far. We're about to get into a tough stretch of the schedule right now with pretty tough teams coming up. And we can make it through the next 2 or 3 games. We have an opportunity to have a great season. But it's the luck of the draw. You prepare preseason, and hopefully your schedule is manageable.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and do what you practice every day. They've had a good run so far.
So, Dave Fleck. There's an F word for us. Fleck.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people were like not that big of a fan. Obviously now it's like, oh, right? It's like, yeah, row the boat for sure. But, I mean, I just, I think he brings such a lot of energy. And, I mean, that's from the day he walked in. It was like, wow. I mean, and you have to build. I think, so my youngest son is at the U now. And he loves going to the games.
Yeah, I mean, he has a ton of energy, but, let's face the fact, you can have a great coach, but you're just going to play into your success at any level, whether it be collegiate or the NFL. You have a talent pool. So, I mean, obviously, he's probably done a few great things with Cleveland. He has some fairly good athletes, has some skill issues, and it's starting to show right now. So,
yeah. So, you went to the University of Minnesota. Did you ever leave? I mean, you did, but I mean, did you ever go back home after school?
I was actually every major holiday, but usually probably Christmas, everyone playing, and during the summer for probably a week or so before I got back to work. Yeah, but I tried to go back to Mississippi those
And I'm sorry, you're breaking up a lot, so I don't know what just happened.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
All right.
So your mother, your father, they're both still in Mississippi then?
My father actually passed away in 1998, the night we played Green Bay. I actually got a phone call on the bus ride to the stadium that my father had passed away. So my mother actually lives there alone right now. So I truly miss my father.
Oh, Ben, I'm so sorry. And that was, what did you play then?
Yeah, I played. I mean, that was my job to play. I mean, it's,
Wow.
there are things that happen, but that's my job.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't, I commend you for that. I don't think I'd be able to function.
Well, thank you.
But that's, I mean, I think taking that, I mean, and this is an F word I talk about a lot, but focus. That had to take a lot of focus to put that aside. You like compartmentalize it, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to deal with that after the game. Right now I'm going to do my job.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just like, I can't even imagine.
Well, I mean, look, one of the things you learn as a collegiate athlete and as a pro is, there are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be good days, bad days. Life happens, things happen, but
Right.
at the end of the day, once you get to the ranks, your job is actually perform. Nobody asks you after a game that day that you sleep a lot. So you're expected to perform, and that's what I try to do.
You did, wow. I did not know that. That's imagine. And so your mom is she still working? Is she still an educator?
My mom, she retired probably 6 or 7 years ago. 78. So, she very youthful and vibrant for her late 70s.
Wow.
I probably talk to her 2 or 3 times a day every day.
That, as a mom, that melts my heart, right? That melts my heart. I want my boys to be listening to that 2 or 3 times a day, guys. Because it's I check on mine all the time. I mean, as a mother, I mean the last thing we ever want is to lose touch with our kids, and she did, and your father did a great job raising you. If that's how you are, and respectful, and wanting to take care of her. That my middle son, not to downplay my other 2 kids because they're pretty awesome too, but my middle son, he checks on me every single day.
That's wonderful.
Yes. And you know what? And here, it's funny, but it's not funny. And I told you about this, but my listeners don't know about this. You guys, 2 weeks ago, I almost choked to death on a piece of chicken. And I'm not kidding when I say it was almost it, because I was starting to black out and I had to get it dislodged. And my thought was, oh my God, who's going to find me? Because I literally was starting to go, oh crap, I'm going to die. I can't get this chicken out, and I'm by myself, working from home alone. And thank God it came out, but it was not even 10 minutes later that Austin called me. On his lunch break, he calls me on his lunch break every day. He'll call me in the morning. I mean, he's pretty good about the 1, 2, or 3 time a day phone calls. But he called me, and I was still like all up in, just like freaking out mode. And I'm like, oh. I said, Austin, how would you feel if I would have been dead if you called? He's like, what? It made no sense because I was just out of it. It's like, what a stupid thing to say. And I told him what happened, and he was like, he yelled at me. He's like, Mom, do your food. It's like, I didn't think I'd have to put you in assisted living this early. But I mean, that's him. He's just like always. I mean, and he's the one like having to get, and my oldest one is in New York, so he can't be here to help, and my youngest one is in the military, so he's always the one. Like, I need help moving furniture. I need help with this, and he's there. He and his girlfriend Shelby. But yeah, so that makes, like I said, that makes my heart just melt, because especially when we live alone. And so if your mom's living by herself, that's lives and breathes for you, and your sister obviously too. But moms kind of have a special spot for boys. Just saying. I would know. I didn't have girls. But okay, so you talk to her every day. And tell me, what else do you do? You played football, then you retired from football.
Things I did, I actually, out of football, I actually went to work for a company called Contour, where I started my own line of nutraceutical products. A couple of years after that, that's when I kind of found out some unlucky news that I was diagnosed with kidney disease, and that kind of changed my life a little bit.
How long ago? How long ago was that, Ben?
That would be 8 years ago. Found out I had kidney disease, and at some point I was going to need kidney transplant. So through some of the programs we have in the NFL, I utilized stem cells for probably about half or three-fourths of that 8-year period, and it kind of maintained my kidney function for a while until things it stopped working probably 2 or 3 months ago. But during that 8-year phase, I started my foundation, the Ben Williams Foundation. Decided to go back to school to actually get my MBA from my College School of Management here at the University of Minnesota.
That's right. Is that through the NFL?
Yes. My obviously my undergrad was paid for through the University of the Big Ten, and my school was actually done through the NFL Trust.
Wow. I think a lot of people don't realize all of the good things that's available. Because one of the things with my company, Hall of Fame Financial, we brought that together because of that statistic of 78% of players going broke within 5 years. And I think a lot of it, over the years, talking to different retired athletes, it's like, you know what? Yeah, we have all this great stuff, but we don't know where to go to get it. So it's literally, people need to educate themselves.
You have to be pretty self-driven. There are a lot of opportunities out there. And I can tell you from personal experience, talking to some of the people in all these different factions of the NFL and the NFLPA, they're available, but you're going to have to do the legwork and find out self-help.
Right. Do you think, though, sometimes people are embarrassed to go look for the help?
Well, that's that I would say yes, but one of the things in life I learned pretty early in life is, pride can be one's demise sometimes. I'm not afraid to tell anyone my life weaknesses or whatever, because if you can't accept your life weaknesses, how you possibly overcome them. So,
right.
There's a lot of prideful things that go along with pro football, and I know a lot of guys with my friends who personally don't want to reach out for help, but like I said, I try to advocate and ask guys some of the things I know and try to assist where I can.
Well, you stay really involved. I want to step back to when you found out about your kidney problems. How did you find that out? Were you not feeling well? What was going on?
I I went to my general physician for just a regular checkup, got some blood work done, and was kind of sitting there and joking around, and he walks back in the room. Was like, we got to sit down and talk to him. And I'm like, yeah, about what? And he was like, you have 27% kidney function. Oh, that was quite that was quite the pill to swallow that day. I mean, somebody, you think you're perfectly healthy, and all of a sudden somebody tells you that your kidneys only function about a quarter of what they should be. It's quite the shock.
And you didn't even realize that was going on. I mean, so you thought you were fine, right?
I mean, that's one of the things I've learned over my years of having kidney disease and trying to, inform people. Well, let me start from the beginning. Some of the issues that were attributed to my kidney disease, a lot of people aren't educated about, like hypertension, one of the causes of kidney disease. Some anti-inflammatory issues can be some of the causes of kidney disease. And one of the things that really, really hit me hard was the fact of, how can you have so many negative things going on? And it's not like breaking a leg.
Right.
You can feel a broken leg. I had no inclination that, all of this stuff was wrong with me. And, like I said, I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was, that was tough going home and trying to, grapple with the fact that at some point my kidneys are going to stop working, and I'm going to be in a world of hurt, or I'm going to have to find a donor and live the rest of my life on dialysis.
Okay. So, dialysis, talk to me about that.
All right. I mean, I try to make light of it, and I just started probably 2 months ago, and I try to face everything I face as a hardship in life with a smile. But let's be frank about it. There's not a lot of fun in putting 2 needles in your arm the size of a nail every day, getting your entire blood volume circulated through a machine about 70 times. It's quite the life change to sit in that chair and do that for 4 hours a day.
Because people don't know about this, Ben, and so thank you so much for sharing this. But, does it hurt?
The actual process doesn't hurt. Sometimes, post-dialysis, you get some fatigue. I think the biggest thing that everyone would probably have a problem getting used to is, the actual, I wouldn't say pain of dealing with the needles every day, because I think when most people think of, a needle, they think of a hypodermic needle, like you get a flu shot,
right,
or a tetanus shot or something like that. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but dialysis needles aren't that size. They're probably about 10 to 15 times that size. The diameter is a lot bigger.
Wow. And you're doing this every day?
Usually 5 days a week, correct.
So do you get up and you do that in the morning for 4 hours and then you go to school?
Correct.
Honestly, most people would not have the wherewithal. That's your drive and determination. Honestly, that I think. One thing I know about you is you're not a victim.
No.
At all.
Because look, my mother told me at a young age, God never gives anyone more than they can handle. So, I was put in a situation, I systemically can't change it, so why approach it with a negative attitude?
Right.
I Try to smile every day.
Well, and I know you touch a lot of lives. 'Cause I see that you're out there doing things, helping with. Most recently, there was a bowling event that you did, right?
Correct. Last Saturday, there's an organization called, I think, APNLR, which is an organization that helps organize recreational activities for developmentally disabled. And so 8 o'clock last Saturday morning, I spent 3 hours interacting and bowling and having a lot of fun with that group of people.
Well, and that's so great because, like, honestly, going through the pain that what you're going through and being tired and everything, you keep pushing. And, like, when you had your surgery earlier in the year, I mean, you just, I'm like, man, I feel like you need to write a book. I mean, there's so many lessons people can be learning from you.
Thank you. Don't remind me of that surgery. That surgery is probably the most painful thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, I know. And they sent you home. That was like,
Yeah, it is.
no,
Yeah,
that's
I don't want to relive that.
no, that one. But that's what I mean, though. That's what I'm saying is you're so strong. You just keep going. You keep going. You keep going. You keep going. And
that's all alternative.
no, exactly. And that's like, and I've told you, and everybody knows this about me, but I've got Lyme disease, and
Correct.
my entire life has changed in the fact where I went from being really active, and I mean, I used to work out for a living, and like you, but not as, but I mean, I helped the owners of Nordic Track get out there. And so I was working out every day for work. And, to all of a sudden, just like one day, it seemed like I couldn't get up my stairs. But I did. I mean, I think of people that call in sick to work because their toe hurts or, whatever reason. But I'm like going, I still made it to work every day because I needed to. Now, sometimes the Lyme disease cognitively would affect me to the point where I'd get up and I'd go to work, but I'd forget to go to work. So I would just drive right by, forgetting that's where I was going, And then I'd be like, oh, mall's not open yet. Oh, that's right, I'm supposed to be at work. It's just like stupid, like not thinking, but not being able to help it. But I still went. And I remember I got talked to by our HR person, and she's like, Kathy, for the last 2 weeks, you've been late every day. Like it's one thing if you're like 1 or 2 minutes, but you're like 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 7. And I literally, I finally went in and I said, listen, if you knew what it took for me to even get here, you would understand. But the fact that I forget to take a lunch and forget to leave at the end of the day sometimes, I more than make up for those few minutes that I'm late. So sorry. But, and then it was never brought up again. But I really had to focus on getting myself there. So, I mean, yeah, we do what we have to do. Now, I want to know who gave you the name Big Swole and why?
I think I got that name probably one year or senior year of high school. One of the things that I've always joked about, and I took pretty seriously my entire career was I enjoyed working out, and the look I had as a player was, I joke with my mom that I was a bodybuilder playing football. So, unluckily, right now I can't work out for a while. But as soon as I get this new kidney, I'm gonna get back to being a big sport. So it really came from workout habits and my muscular physique.
Well, yeah, I've seen pictures, and that's like crazy. I mean, muscular, and and you still look good. You still look. I mean, you still look like you're in really good shape. Like, I mean, if you didn't have the pain, be able to like walk on the field and do some damage. That's what it looks like.
I wish. Well, thank you, though.
What else was I going to say? I just forgot. See, I blame that on Lyme disease, not age, not being blonde. What else was I going to just say? No, so I want to talk more about your foundation because I had that out there. And I want people to know about it. So let me tell you something real quick too, Ben, because we have a family friend who was in his 80s. Years ago, he donated his kidney, and now, I mean, he's been battling cancer for years, like in his brain and all this. Now he's got it in his other kidney. So I mean, he doesn't have that option, and he's older. So I mean, he's just he's fighting with everything that he's got. But I think people don't have the knowledge. Tell me about the foundation and what can we do, because I want to get the word out there. And guess what? We want to get you a donor. I mean, that's where we need people to know about this. What do they need to do? How can they find out if they're a match? I kind of think I've never asked, but I think because I have Lyme disease, I don't think I could.
Okay, let's start talking about the rationale behind my foundation.
Okay.
I think one of the things that I noticed when I found out that I had kidney was, especially the area of Mississippi, a lot of the inner city and rural areas of this country don't have adequate centers and access to medical needs and some of the bigger cities like Minneapolis. So I started the Ben Williams Foundation to actually assist some of the impoverished areas in funding like mobile dialysis trucks or actual on-site dialysis units, and as a place to assist some of the people who aren't blessed with great insurance, some of their financial and physical needs. As far as me finding a donor, there are a lot of different options these days to attaining a kidney. Obviously, I think the first and probably the most optimal one would be finding a living donor that has your blood type and that doesn't have any antibody issues. The second option, which is usually done through hospitals like Planet at the University of Minnesota, are a deceased or cadaveric kidney, which I would probably say a secondary option. And I think the third, which I've just learned a lot about in the last couple of months, is what they call pairing. Pairing means if I actually come to the table, one person who's donor to me, that person does not have to be actually my blood type or match me antibody. So that means that person, I come to the table with a person, there's a pool of other people who come to the table, person, and they find a match within that pool of people, and they swap actual donor cases. So that would mean if I had a person who was willing to be a pairing partner with me,
Okay.
they would search around for a kidney that matches me. I would get the person who brings a pairing person, that would be my second person, and both would be good. I guess in terms, the objective is just having a person who is willing and healthy enough to donate, and don't necessarily have to be a blood type or antibody match.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, do you have somebody yet that's doing that?
I have one potential person right now who is willing to do so, but obviously the more the merrier. So
Right.
the person who is who's contacting my coordinator right now, you have to go through a battery of tests, stuff like that, to make sure that you're able to handle the surgery and those type things. But I have one person out. If there is somebody out there who is willing, I would welcome it, and let's be an event.
What do they need to do? Do they need to contact you?
They can contact me at Ben at benwilliamsfoundation.org, or actually contact the University of Minnesota donor hotline. I don't have that number at hand, but
Okay.
they can definitely reach out to me on any of my social media platforms,
Okay.
or once again at Ben at benwilliamsfoundation.org.
So it's Ben at benwilliamsfoundation.org.
Correct.
Trust me, we're going to put this out there. And let me ask you, because, okay, you know what I found out was and I'd forgotten, how stupid is this? So I'd forgotten that I had this, and I went to the doctor last time, and I ended up having, I had to have a major surgery too. It was like really stupid, but I got really sick. I had to have a biopsy. Things went bad from the biopsy. Ended up in a lot of pain, and they did a CT scan of my body, and they found a mass on one of my kidneys.
Yeah.
But they just said, well, come back and look at it. Well, then a couple of years had passed, and I went to the doctor, and they're like, well, what did your next thing say? I go, on what? Because I'd forgotten, but I was so sick. I forgot that I even had that. And that's kind of a major thing. And it's grown a little bit, but, I'm not really concerned. But, obviously I need to keep an eye on it. But I really, when I went through that, I was like, wow, I really don't know anything about this. And I really feel like you going through this and being able to have, like God, like your mom said, God doesn't give you more than what you can handle. He doesn't give to you what doesn't go through you, right? So if you're sharing what you're experiencing and save other people's lives and make a difference in the quality of life for people that are going through this, and we got to get the word out there, Ben. And I feel like by doing this, we're going to find your match, get you out of that 4-hour yuck. I can't stand the thought of vain stuff. And so to imagine that you do what you have to do, and you do it and you just go. But my gosh, we get more word out on here, and we help you so you can go out there and get the mobile dialysis units out there. Man, I know there's so many people and there's such a need for it. Because you don't hear about it. You really don't.
Well, they call it the silent killer. There are hundreds of thousands of people afflicted with kidney disease in this country. But I think most of the attention pretty much around heart disease, but probably a higher need for actually kidney donors, and then also like heart centers.
Right. But there is, and it's so important. And I don't know, a lot of people, how they feel about things, but, just even by checking that donor part of your license, the difference that they can make.
Yeah, becoming, most people look over it, but checking that box on your driver's license to be an organ donor can really be beneficial in saving someone's life. I mean, because I can tell you, until you are in actual need of an organ, take a lot of those things for granted. And I can tell you, I did for most of the years I was healthy, but if you knew some of the things I've gone through, post being diagnosed, you truly wake up to the value of having someone willing to help you extend life.
Yeah, and you're the kind of person that getting your life extended, you're going to help so many other people get theirs extended too. And you're doing that. You're doing that anyway by bringing awareness. So know that I want to help. You know that anything I can do to get the word out there. I was actually talking to some marketing people today about you, and I mean let's make it go viral and get more people knowing about it. The more people that know, I mean, there's never any reason for anybody to not know. And it's like, it's one of those things too. I was talking to somebody else today that, it's just like, wow, this person was just like so rude to me, so mean to me, and it's like I wish I could have just blurted out what I was going through, and maybe they would feel bad. It's like people just need to be nice because everybody's going through something. Everybody is. It's like it might, it's like your cat might have just died. Nobody knows, but it's just like everybody just be kind. We're all here to, for a purpose. And I'm hoping to find my purpose pretty soon. But, I think what you're doing, Ben, is just, it's very important. And I think you take away from what you're going through by doing all the other things that you do to help everybody else, because you're all about helping everything,
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but all right. I'm going to change the subject a little bit, but you know what? So, people want to know: do you have children?
No children. Wish I did.
Okay, well, that's not out of the question, is it?
It's not out of the question. You got to have a viable partner to do so.
Well, I wouldn't think you'd have a problem with that.
Like I said, I was really mentally busy with football and life, but now I look back and I kind of wish I had a son or a daughter right now, but who knows?
You know what? You're helping a lot of other people's sons and daughters more than you realize.
Try my best to.
Yeah, and sometimes when you don't have any of your own, I mean, you make more of a difference in others than you will ever realize. Just a little bit of quality time lasts a lifetime. It really does. And a lot of times we take it for granted. But I'm just seeing some other questions people are texting me here. Oh, I have somebody that is offering.
Offering what?
To have a baby for you. Okay. There we go. So, yes, you those are some things you have to get checked out for too before you offer that. Sorry, young lady. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, funny. I think you're a great guy, Ben.
Thank you very much for that.
But here's what I want to do is find out now, what is your favorite? So when you're not doing what you're doing at dialysis, at school, everything else, what is your favorite thing to do?
Repeat repeat your question again?
Okay, taking away all the other things like school, having to go to dialysis, when you have free time, your favorite thing to do? Some of our F word stuff.
I mean, probably working out, fitness. I mean, like if you knew how much, no, I've pushed my body to the limit over my lifetime, and probably one of the things that attracted me to bodybuilding is being able to create a picture by your diet and training habits and stuff like that. And I think that's probably one of the things I really enjoy doing that I miss right now. I mean, though it was monotonous spending 3 hours in the gym every day, I really miss it. And I mean, I love to travel, love great food. I try to golf when my body's not killing me.
Really? Are you good?
That's a personal perception thing. Go-wise, probably not. I'm functional, put it like that.
Better than me. Got into a lot of golf tournaments, and I usually sit in the cart after a while as I go, yeah, sorry everyone, I won't mess it up anymore. But I love going out there. To play golf with people is so much fun because, I mean, you're just in a different world and you're talking about anything and everything. And it's not about the game, it's about the company.
Totally is, I agree.
That is wonderful. Okay, so you like to golf, like food. What's your favorite food?
I told you, anything Cajun.
Anything Cajun, okay.
Anything Cajun. When I'm here and in the Twin Cities, I enjoy my favorite steakhouse is Manny's Steakhouse, so I really enjoy that. But I don't really get a lot of authentic Cajun food here, so I try to get my feel when I travel back down south.
Are there any good Cajun restaurants here?
I wish. No, I mean there's some that have some Cajun dishes like J.D. Hart's, but a true authentic Cajun restaurant, probably not.
There's a couple of guys that opened up a place called it's called Cajun Life in St. Paul, and supposedly, because I was going to go, and then they shut down and they're relocating. Because I finally said, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to try this stuff. And when I went, they had closed temporarily. But, I mean, they were, like, really popular. Like, the governor, the mayor, everybody's been there. A lot of celebrities would go there. But they've been told, get this story. Here's the story, though. Here's a really cool story. They were rival gang members from St. Paul. And they saw each other somewhere. They sat down, they started talking, and both found out that they would love to open a restaurant. So they went in together and they bought a pizza place and immediately shut it down, fired everybody, and went on YouTube. They didn't have any experience and learned how to make Cajun food and have been told that it's extremely authentic. Is that crazy?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So as soon as they open up again, we're going, okay?
Yeah. I'll definitely do that. I'd love to experience it.
Because they do like that crawfish boil, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I'm game. I'm game. I'll try it. You just have to. I'll suck the head, I suppose. So I'll do anything once. see what I think of it.
Well, let me know. I definitely love to try it.
I will. Okay, so everybody, we're getting to the end of the hour. Ben Williams, I just want to thank you so much for coming on to the F Word this week. Ben at benwilliamsfoundation.org. This is going to go out on all of our social media. We're going to get this out there. It's so important to build this awareness, you guys, because everybody's battling something. And sometimes you can't see it. It's not like you said, it's not a broken bone. There's something going on. I'm actually, you know what this does is it motivates me to go make sure that I keep mine watched. Because I forget. I do. Like, I totally, like, over a couple years, completely forgot that I even had that going on. And that's not a good thing to do. But, you know, everybody, you just got to, you know, pay attention to your bodies. Pay attention to each other. Be good to everybody that you meet. And we can all be more like Ben and be strong and keep a smile on our faces. It makes things so much better. So, Ben, thank you again. I really appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure.
All right, everybody. Thank you again. We'll talk to you next Tuesday on the F Word. Good night.